Okay, my friends, we continue in the chitas of the day. Today's chitas is the fifth day of the month of Iyar. I mean, the third day of the month of Iyar, but the fifth day of the week, Amishi. And the Torah continues about the purification of a Mitzorah. And the Torah says, the Torah continues and says, we're holding on chapter 14, verse number 21. If he's a poor man and he doesn't have the means, he doesn't have the means to buy all these animals that the Torah obligates him, then he should take one male, a lamb, as a guilt offering, echad asham l'tnufa, to a waving, l'chaparov, to forgive upon him. Yisad and Silas, and 1/10 of an ephah. Echad, only 1/10. The previous yesterday was 3, but there were 3 different animals. Over here, it's 1 animal. L'mincha v'leik shemen, and 1 leg of oil. The Rash says he only takes 1 ephah flour for the libation meal offering to accompany this lamb. Each one he shall bring 1/10 of an ephah. The leg shemen, and as he needs to have the leg, the quantity of oil to be able to put upon his thumb, on his toe, and however, as far as the amount of oil required for the libation of meal offering, Ship does not need to specify, for we know it from another passage. Okay, verse 22. Shnei Toidim, and then he should bring, instead of animals, he should bring 2 turtle doves, 2 turtle doves, or 2 young doves. According to what he can afford. And these 2, one shall be for a chatas, sin offering, and 1 shall be for a burnt offering. So the asham always needs to be an animal, while the chatas, the sin offering, can sometimes be a bird if you cannot afford it. And he'll bring it on the 8th day of his Latarah, so the 8th day of his day of counting and cleansing. Alakoyin, to the koyin. Al Pesach Meir, to the entrance of the door of the meeting. Now Hashem before God. Rash says on the 8th day, after he had brought the birds had been sprinkled with the cedar and the hyssop and the strip of crimson oil, for that procedure is called the cleansing, even though it's in an interim. Verse number 20. And the kohen shall take the guilt offering of the lamb and the leg of oil. And he'll bring them as a waving before God. Verse 25. Then he will slaughter the guilt offering. He will take from the blood of the guilt offering. He'll put it upon the right ear of the one who's coming to be cleansed, and on his right, the thumb of his right hand, on the big toe of his right foot. Verse 26. And then the kohen shall pour some of the oil into the left palm into the left palm of his hand, of the kohen's hand. Verse 27. And then the kohen shall sprinkle with his right index finger from the oil of his left palm 7 times before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, before God. Verse 28. And then the kohen shall place from the oil that is in his palm on the cartilage of the right ear of the person being cleansed, on the thumb of the right hand, and his big toe of the right foot, on the place of the guilt offering, the blood of the guilt offering. So Rashi says even if the blood had been wiped off, he still has to do the putting of the oil upon these parts of the body. Verse 29. And the leftover of the oil, which is in the hands of the kohen. Yita Leshabatai puts it on the head of the one who's being pure. L'chaper love, to cleanse him Hashem before God. Verse 30. Then he performs the service of the one turtle dove or of the young dove for whatever he can afford. Verse 31. What he can afford, one for the sin offering, and one for the burnt offering, besides the meal offering. All these things he has to bring on the day, on the 8th day of his purity. The Kohen will bring cleanliness to this person. Verse 32. This is the law. A person who has a tzeras, which when he doesn't have money, on the day he wants to become. And that completes the Chumash for today. We now go to the Tanya of the day. Now the Rebbe continues in chapter 44 of Tanya. It continues as follows. So he does explain very deeply yesterday in the concept of Ava, how a person should waken up the Ava that's in his heart, the Ava to the Eibishter. Think about how he has this connection to God, how he loves his life, and God is his life. So just like he loves his life, he should have a love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And now the Alter Rebbe continues. And there's a more intense love than this, meaning than the love which results from realizing that God is one's true soul and one's life. There's even a greater love. And this love, which is likewise concealed in every soul of Israel, which is an inheritance from our ancestors, from our patriarchs. Which is brought out in the Zohar. And when in the description of the Moses' divine service, like a son who strives for the sake of his father and mother. Whom he loves even more than his own body, soul, and spirit. And he's sacrificing his life for his father and mother in order to redeem them from captivity. You have, God forbid, the Zohar gives an analogy of a son who's of a parent who's in captivity, and the son gives away his whole life and anything that he can do to bring his parent out of captivity. This is the manner is not limited to Moses alone, but within the providence of every Jew, the Alter Rebbe says. Because we have only one Father. So look at the explanation. Thus as Moses possessed this love because God is his Father, so too every Jew can possess this love. For God is equally our Father, just like Moshe Rabbeinu. This level of love is more selfless than to describe by the phrase, my soul, I desire you. For love which results from realizing that God is one's true life will only be intense as the person desires for life itself. Depends how much he's happy with his life. It will not be demand a total self-sacrifice, because ultimately is I desire. It's according to the way I desire somebody. And therefore it's not going to be so intense. The love of a child for his father, his parent, however, is not limited to love for life. For his parents' lives take precedent over his own life. And he's ready to give away his very life in order to save theirs. Although one may ask, who is this man? And where is he? Find me a person who would dare to presume in his heart to approach and attain a thousandth of a part of the degree of love felt by Moshe Rabbeinu, who was called the faithful shepherd. So how can anybody say the Zohar said that Moshe Rabbeinu had a love like a child to his father? Who is Moshe Rabbeinu? Who can reach up to Moshe Rabbeinu? The Alter Rebbe says to even attend a thousandth of a part of Moshe Rabbeinu. Who can reach up to a thousandth of a part of Moshe Rabbeinu? Nevertheless, the Alter Rebbe says, "Mikol Mokim, nevertheless, I made a new portion and particular of his great goodness and light illuminates the community of Israel in each generation." And it stayed in Tikkunim and Zohar. This Pashtu should say there's an emanation from Moshe Rabbeinu. The whole Dora V'Dora, it's present in every generation to illuminate them. Moshe Rabbeinu is in every generation. So this, since its illumination particle is found in all Jews in all generations, it thus becomes possible for every Jew through Moshe's goodness of light. Moshe Rabbeinu gave everything. That's what it says in the Mishnah. Moshe kibel, Moshe received, umasara, and he gave. He was like this conduit. Didn't keep anything for himself. He gave it all to Am Yisrael. He gave it all to his generation and to all generations. To feel the love that he possesses as an inheritance from the patriarchs in a manner similar to that of Moshe. Problem is, this spark, this glow of Moshe Rabbeinu is present in the souls of all of Israel in a manner of great obscurity and concealment. And how do you take out this hidden love from the hidden to the revealed? So it shall be in his heart and his mind. So therefore Moshe Rabbeinu says in the Torah, Moses says, it's not beyond your reach, nor is it far from you. It is very close to your mouth and your eyes, in your heart. Which means it should be an habitual, that it be something, a habit on your tongue, and on his voice, to arouse the tension of his heart and his mind. For the sound of one's voice arouses devoted concentration of the heart and mind. So to immerse his thought in the life of life. Blessed Odin Sof, Kihu Avinu Mamish, because he is literally our Father, God. Amiti, the real Father. Makar HaChaim, the source of our life. That we can awaken up a love to God like the love of a son to his father. And when somebody accustoms himself to this, he does it once, he does it twice, he does it 3 times. Then a habit becomes nature. And that concludes the Tanya of the day. Today was a small chitas. We learned the Chumash and the Tanya of the day. Today is the 3rd day of the month of Iyar. And the Tehillim of the day is chapter 18 through chapter 22. 18 through chapter 22. And you would have done the chitas of the day. I wish you all a great day, happy healthy day, a wonderful day. See you all tomorrow morning, where we're going to do the Chitas of a day at 8 a.m. Have a great day.
You too, Rabbi. Thank you so much.